Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new Let's Play series of Arthenex Plays Distant Worlds Universe. So this is a Space 4X game that is not new. The original Distant Worlds came out, gosh, must be 4 or 5 years ago now, at least. And since then they've released several expansions, and then about a year ago they bundled everything together and released it on Steam. I've been playing this game since it came out. The first one came out all those years ago, and I have successfully played each one of the expansions, and I bought the game again on Steam when it came out a year ago. I'm a huge fan of this game. In fact, I consider this game to be the best of the current generation of Space 4X games. Better than Stardock's games, better than all of those other independent games that have come out. This is the one that I keep coming back to when I feel like playing a Space 4X game. Now, that being said, it still has some flaws. It has some issues. It is incredibly complicated. It's a huge game. It is very difficult to see what's going on all the time. There's still a ton of micromanagement in the game, and the AI has actually gotten a lot better. And in fact, there's a couple of issues that have kind of more recently, within the last year since it came out, improved dramatically. The game is much better balanced than it was when it came out on Steam. And it's also, the AI, I think, has been, I don't know if the AI's improved, or maybe it's because the game balance is better that it just seems like it has been improved. But I played a couple of kind of refresher games recently, and I found it to be a lot more fun even than I remember. So I thought I'd do a Let's Play series of it. I'm going to be a little bit more descriptive about what's going on in this Let's Play series than I am in other games because, as I said, this game is incredibly complicated. It's got tons of moving parts, and it's very easy to get lost. So I'm going to try and explain what's going on. If you're a veteran Distant Worlds player or an expert Distant Worlds player, I apologize for the beginning stuff, but it's so easy to get lost in this game. I think it's important for me to go over everything as much as I can, the reasons behind my decision and what's going on in the background to help out people who are watching or who are interested in this game. All right, so we're going to hit Start New Game. When you do that, it pops up this kind of basic, simplified version of the Start New Game menu for newer players, but I'm going to go ahead and customize my game, get behind the scenes here a little bit, and show you the different options you have for starting your game. So, first of all, you choose your galaxy shape. I like to choose the ring because I like a little bit of terrain in my galaxy. The ring, especially with colonization limits turned on, really gives you neighbors and distant empires instead of kind of throwing everybody together. It really encourages you to expand around the circle because that's where most of the stars are, and there's this kind of wasteland in the middle of the map with a few stars, but usually there's a couple of empires in there that are, anyway. So I like the ring galaxy. We're going to do a small 400 star galaxy. It says small, but it's still really huge. The larger maps are insane. They take like 1,400 stars. Is just nuts. So we're going to play on small, and there will still be plenty of stuff to fight over. If you get up into the huger, bigger maps, it also, the micromanagement in the late game starts to get seriously out of control. So I like to keep things a little bit smaller on the map size. Each planet is worth a lot, relatively speaking. You're not going to get a ton of colonies. That keeps the micro down, and I also think it makes the game a little bit more fun. However, we are going to play on a bigger map because space-wise, this means that stars are going to be a little bit more spread out. I think it feels a little bit more like space when everything is not jammed up right close together. Also, when you play on the small maps, a lot of the tech tree, all of the fuel expansions and the faster speed hyperdrives, all of that kind of becomes useless on a smaller map. So we're going to play on a bigger map, but not huge, because this is a YouTube series, and if you play on a huge map, which I do actually like, you spend a fair amount of time waiting for your ships to arrive. So going to compromise. We'll play on a large map. It should be big enough that the whole tech tree is at least relevant. We are going to, you also have the option of loading in a custom galaxy map, which I've never tried, although I think it could be pretty cool. So expansion, this sets the starting points for the other randomly generated AI empires. So we're going to, since we're playing the Age of Shadows, we're going to do pre-warp. I'm going to leave this on pre-warp, so all of the players are going to start out on the same level. Research costs, this lets you control how fast research happens. We're just going to leave that on normal. Aggression, I turned up a notch to encourage the AI to attack me, but I didn't turn it up too high so that they're not always declaring wars, especially wars that they can't win. Space creatures add something to the game. I don't want to get rid of them, but they're not incredibly fun on their own, so we're just going to leave them on normal. Difficulty, I'm going to play on hard. This is going to give the AI empires a little bit of an advantage. Back when this game came out, it was poorly balanced and it was really easy. Since then, it's been updated and fixed, and I find that hard still gives me a challenging game. I'm still somewhat of a casual Distant Worlds player. I'm not an expert, so I'm not going to play on extreme difficulty. I know some people do, but I'm just going to leave it on hard, and it's still going to give me a fun and challenging game. And then finally, pirate strength. This is where I turn things up. I'm a huge fan of the pirates in this game. They're fun. They're chaotic. There's lots of things you can do with them. So I turn them way up. Very many pirates that are super strong. The one thing I will do, though, is say that destroyed pirates do not respawn. So once we clear them out, they'll be gone. They've had, the story-wise, they've had hundreds and hundreds of years, or at least decades, to kind of set themselves up in places around the galaxy. And once we clear them out, it's kind of the slow progression of civilization over barbarism, and they won't come back. Otherwise, you just wind up fighting them the whole game, which I don't think is fun. I kind of like massive pirates in the beginning of the game. They're all fighting each other. They're fighting you. It's just chaos. And then as the game goes on, there's kind of this transition to, all right, now we're going to actually fight other empires, and other empires are going to kind of clear out the galaxy. So I'm going to leave it on. They don't respawn. Once we clear them out, they're gone. So then we have colonization. This colony prevalence, this is how many habitable planets there are in the galaxy. I'm going to leave it at normal. With a 400-star empire, that means there's going to be a fair amount, but not a ton. So they're going to be fairly precious. Independent alien life, normal. That means there's going to be, for every empire that I spawn, there's going to be like 1 to 3 independent alien planets. So I'm just going to leave it at that. If you put it up on too many, then it's like you finding independent alien life everywhere, which I don't think is realistic. It's kind of more fun to have, mostly empty, and every once in a while you'll come across an independent alien colony. Colony influence range. This is how big your territory spreads out from your colonies. Territory is important because the AI, other empires, cannot build bases or settle planets that are in your territory. So, as I said, stars are going to be a little bit more spread out in this game since we're playing small number of stars on a big map. So we turn this up a little bit. And colonization range limits, this is going to keep you from sending colony ships all the way across the map to try and grab that planet. You're going to have something there. Now, note that this is just colonization. This has no impact on what you can conquer. That's especially important when you combo it with independent alien life. So you can conquer an independent planet on the other side of the galaxy, and that kind of gives you a new spot to start spreading out from. Although it's going to take you a long time to get there if it's on the other side of the galaxy. But nevertheless, this is going to, 3 sectors is about a third of the way across the map. So we can colonize stuff about a third of the way across the map, but not all the way on the other side. We're going to play as the Xenox. They're my favorite race to play as, mainly because of the special technology they get, the Megatron Z4 shields, which are really cool. And they also start with 2 historical locations known. This can give you a chance to pick up some cooler, better ships right from the start of the game, or maybe some advanced technology right at the start of the game. However, they're not the most. I think the most powerful races in the game are the ones that have population growth boosts, because that, especially the Securians, and there's one of the insect races that also has a population growth boost. I think those are probably the most powerful races because population growth is really, really significant in this game. It gives you a huge bonus. But we're going to play as these guys anyway. So we're going to be the Arthenex Empire. This lets you customize your colors and your logo or your coat of arms. We're going to make sure we start on the rim of the galaxy. Our home system, we're just going to leave it on normal. That means there'll be one habitable planet in our system. It's the one we're going to start on. But there should be plenty of resources available for us to get into space. This is what the AIs also will start with, was normal. Size. So this also controls the AI empires, whether any of them have more than one planet. So we're going to leave it at starting. Everybody's going to start with one planet. Tech level, again, everybody starts at pre-warp. Corruption is normal. And then we choose our government. There's a whole bunch of governments we can choose from. Technocracy is the special one for our race. It's really good. It has lower corruption, normal growth rate, and 50% extra research speed. So we're going to leave it on Technocracy. So we're just going to auto-generate some empires. You can totally, fully customize your opponents if you want to, but I'm not going to bother. So there's going to be 8 other empires. So it's going to be a 9-player game, basically, that are going to be spread out across the map. That's going to make it pretty crowded. We are not going to allow independent alien colonies to start up new empires during the game. We have warp technology and they don't. And that's the dividing line. And finally, victory conditions. So this allows you to set up victory conditions. This means that if you're dominating the game, you don't have to play out the rest of it. So I'm going to set the victory conditions to 50% of the galaxy. If one empire controls 50% of the territory, population, economy, plus every race has some race-specific victory conditions, you need 80% of this total in order to win. But you can't win before 20 years happens. I'm going to leave all the story events turned on. We're going to allow tech trading. We're going to allow giant I don't know what this actually... I think this refers to the scripted giant Kaltors that attack you after you get to pre-warp. We're going to go ahead and do that and just plan around it instead of turning it off. So, because this is on by default, and if you play this game, it's important that you know that these guys are going to come, or you're going to probably lose one of your scientists. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start the game. It will create a new galaxy for us. And when we get into the game, we'll start talking about kind of how things work and show off the different parts of the game. This video is going to kind of be, first part of this video for sure is there's going to be a lot of kind of showing how things work, because otherwise you won't really understand what's going on. And here we are. So it's going to pop us straight into the galaxy map view. I'm going to go ahead and hit start playing and then pause the game. Here's our home world, and you can see it's actually a moon. So gas giants in this game can have habitable moons, and it just so happens that we started on one. And you can see, if I click on this, this shows us our race, the population of the planet, the size of the planet, 29.1K. It might be circumference, I'm not sure. Or it might be how many people can live there. Quality, 84% is actually pretty bad for a continental planet, but oh well. The resources it produces, so you can see our planet produces iridium, gold, bifurian silk, which is actually a luxury resource, chromium, polymer, and carbon fiber. So we will use those resources to construct our ships and stations, but more about that a little bit later. I'm going to go ahead and queue up a small spaceport and a construction ship. We'll unpause. We'll speed up the game. At some point, because we turned pirates up so high, the pirates are inevitably going to show up. And when they show up, they're going to demand protection money. And because it's right at the start of the game and we have no resources, we'll have no choice but to pay them. The plan is, In every starting system, there's a couple of ships that are abandoned. So one of them's over here, and this one is damaged. So we'll have to repair that one if we want to use it. The other one is over here, and this one is not. So the goal is going to be to get down there with an exploration ship before the pirates show up to claim that ship, because whoever gets to it first gets it. So we'll see if we manage to do that, or if the pirates manage to get to it first. If we get to it first, then we can use that ship to defend ourselves against the pirates, and the pirates we hopefully won't have to pay the pirates protection money. Of course, they haven't shown up yet, but they will. So when our starbase is finished, oh, and there they are. So we have to pay them. You can see they showed up with 4 military ships. And then the military ships immediately went over to clear out those space slugs from the asteroid field. All right, so we finished building our spaceport, so we're going to go ahead and queue up some exploration ships. And while I'm thinking about it, I need to assign my scientist. You always start with the starting scientist to research at the spaceport, otherwise he's not going to do anything. Take a quick look. Yeah, that's fine. At the techs we're researching. All right, so now we're going to see. So if military ships, they usually don't send them to go claim on those ships, but if an exploration ship shows up in our system, that means we're kind of sunk, because the exploration ship will go there, and because we don't have warp drive yet, it'll get there a lot faster than we can. So the pirates in this game, the pirates start with warp drive. The regular empires do not. So we can't even research it at the start of the game. We have to go explore our solar system. All right, so we'll send Smiling Enterprise straight there, and we'll see if we can get to it first. And we'll send you there. You can go. So the other thing, the reason why we built 3 is because we need to figure out, well, we need to send some to these planets that have this symbol over here. That means that there's ruins there. And the key to starting to research warp drive is in one of those ruins. So we'll send one down here to claim this ship, the other one to go head for those ruins, and the third one, turn around and see what this is. The third one will start revealing resources on planets. Let's see, when it gets close enough, it will reveal the resources that are there. And we will use that to figure out where to send our construction ship. So we finished our first construction ship. Let's go ahead and build a second one. And we will send this one up here to build a gas mining station on this planet. So this planet has hydrogen and Caslon. Those are the 2 types of fuel. At the start of the game, everything uses Caslon. And you always need to make sure you have enough fuel for your ships. Otherwise, your ships are going to be, well, they move really slowly and they can't fight very well. And in order to make sure that you have enough fuel for your ships, you need to actively go out and build mining stations on those planets. And those mining stations, because your ships can refuel directly from the mining stations, they actually effectively extend your ship's range, so that as you continue to explore the galaxy, you continue to build gas mining stations at places where they can refuel, and then they can go back there and continue to explore a little bit further. So even if you don't find habitable planets, you can improve your exploration range just by building more gas mining ships, or gas mining stations. All right, so our ship has reached this planet with this ruin, so we can investigate it or not. There's no reason why we wouldn't. Well, okay, there are some negative ruins, but we wouldn't find one in our home world. So we found some technology, which is pretty awesome. So if we go to our technology, you can see we got a bunch of research towards armor plating. So in a little bit, I will go ahead and queue up a bunch of technologies, and you guys can see how that system works. All right, so we've gone ahead and explored all of the planets and moons in our local neck of the woods. Oh, there's no resources on this planet, huh? That's too bad. Each planet type has unique resources, and there's some pretty valuable resources that you can only get from ocean planets. So I was hoping this one would have like some dilithium crystal, for example, but it doesn't. We did not explore that. All right, we finished building the first mining station. Do I want you to do that? Helium. I do need helium. But I can't say that that's my number one priority right now. My number one priority is going to be to get some more building resources. And this moon has all 4 of them. That is really unusual. So I'm going to have you build a mining station there. And then we need to start getting more energy research going, because that's what we need to unlock warp drives. So I'm going to go ahead and get a mining station. Oh, and we made it to the frigate before the pirates did. So I'm going to send, he has just enough fuel to make it back here without refueling. So I'm going to send him, well, he has a little bit more than that, but he has enough. So I'm going to send him back there and refuel. Move my exploration ship down here. And then we need to start exploring the asteroids. No resources on that one. Resources on that one, right? Go and see what that one has. And this one made it over here. So now you can build research stations anywhere. It's to your advantage to build them in places where you get a bonus to research. For example, if I built a research station on this gas giant planet, I'd get a plus 10% bonus to my weapons research. That's important because it can take you over the cap. All right, we finished this one. That's our 3rd construction ship. We are going to send him over to repair this destroyer. So let's go ahead and spend a little bit of time talking about research. So you generate research. Your star bases generate a little bit of it. Mostly you generate it from research stations. So in a little while we'll finish that first energy research station, and you'll see that we'll get another 120K down here. Now, our total Empire research potential is 378K. No matter how many star bases and research stations we build, we can never go over this. However, we can get some bonuses to it. We get 50% based on our government style. We're also getting some from that scientists that we have researching. So plus 34% to energy, plus 12% to weapons, and plus 9% to high tech. And then we can get more bonuses based on the locations where we build our research stations. So once we have research, then it goes into these fields. So there's 3 different research fields, and we research them all at the same time. And I'm going to go ahead and queue up some techs. But basically, right now we're researching torpedo weapons. We can't build any kinds of torpedoes at all right now. When we finish this, we'll be able to build Epsilon torpedoes. You can see that's the component that it gets unlocked when we finish researching this. So we're going to research that, and then we're going to I'm going to go ahead and queue up beam weapons, because right now we can only build pulse blasters. This lets us build the basic type of blaster, Maxos blasters, which have better range, more damage, and same fire rate. So, but better range and more damage. Then the next tier in this is an enhancement to the Maxos blasters. So you don't actually have to replace them on your ships and stations. It just makes them better. And then when you get to the 3rd tier, you can choose to further enhance your same Maxos blasters by going straight ahead, or you can unlock a new component. And this next component is kind of like the intermediate component. And here you can choose. Do you want high power blasters for more damage, or long range lasers for longer range but less damage? And then, so Obviously, this is as good as these are, and you don't have to replace them, but this is as good as this will ever get, whereas these, then you can refine these twice more. Or, if you research both of them, you can get the third generation version of beam weapons, the Titan Beam, which kind of combines the best aspects of it. But you can see you have to go down both paths in order to get them. So usually you research the basic for a bunch of different stuff, then you research the intermediate, you pick one for a bunch of different stuff, and then you research the advanced for the things that you really want. Now, not all the tech trees work like this. Some of the tech trees are race specific. For example, the Wekaris are the only ones that can research these beam weapons. And some of the tech trees are just more kind of traditional. You just the missile weapons, for example, you just kind of get branching paths and you just get better missiles. All right, so let's go ahead and queue up some techs. Let me queue up enhanced beam weapons, and we got a bunch of free armor research. So actually, before we even do that, let's go ahead and finish off armor plating since we got a bunch of free research for it. Then we'll queue up enhanced beam weapons. Then we'll grab let's see, what else are we likely to need? Actually, I'm going to go ahead and grab the high power version of beam weapons. Then we'll go up and grab the high power version of torpedoes. We'll get the next armor enhancement. Then we'll get some ground forces enhancements. Then at that point, we should be building bigger ships, I would think. So we'll go ahead and start researching starfighters. All the way up to advanced fighters. We'll get the refinement for that. And then we'll get better armor. And we'll get advanced logistics. And we'll think about this. Okay. So for energy, we can't queue up too much because we have to wait to unlock this. But there's a few things I want to get first. So let's go ahead and get, so this is my race's unique bonus. It's a shield research. I'm going to go ahead and grab that right away. We'll go ahead and get better reactors and energy collection. We're going to want that. And then we'll wait and queue up the hyperdrive. And then this one, so for the weapons and the energy, you don't necessarily need everything. Although you do, actually, I take it back. For weapons, you don't need everything. For energy and constructions, you do need at least a little bit of just about everything in the tree. Weapons, there's a bunch of stuff that you can kind of completely ignore, basically. But for these two, you need at least a little bit of everything. So there's a few things I want to get right away, but the big thing in this one is colonization. So we're going to go ahead and grab storage systems. And we'll grab these right away since they're cheap and good. And then we'll go ahead and get colonization. Colonization and hyperdrive both cost way more than other techs of their tier. So we're going to have to build a high-tech research station here pretty soon as well. But it's super important to get the energy research going. All right, enough about research. Let's get actually back to playing the game here. So you can see that construction ship's going to build the research station. One of them is going to repair the destroyer, and the other one... Where's the other one? I thought I told it to build a mining station. That's not it. Fleets. Construction ships. We got to the other ruins, so now we unlocked warp precursors. What? Did I tell two of them to build energy research stations? Oh no, I only have two of them. Oh, I thought I built a third one. Whoops. Alright, well, we'll queue up a third one now. Right, so our exploration ship made it all the way over here. So let's go ahead and queue up warp field researchers and hyperdrive technology and send you to explore over there. Meantime, our other exploration ships are probably idle. You're still moving. We'll send you this way. Get that big asteroid field that the pirates helpfully cleared out for us. You can go explore that. So if it says unknown resources, that means you have to send an exploration ship to it to see what it can produce. I mean, you don't have to. Odds are I'll never use most of these asteroids, but there's nothing else we can do with the exploration ships in the early game, so we might as well. Alright, we finished building a research station. Did that give us a new scientist? Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. Doesn't look like it did this time. Oh. Yeah, okay, that other scientist is researching. Okay. No resources. Okay, resources there. So we'll send you there. To send one of them back to the moon in the middle of the map at some point. Okay, no resources there. Okay, resources there. Go ahead and head up that way. Alright, construction ship. So we finished building the research station. So we should build that mining station that I wanted. Right, so let's talk a little bit about resources. So how do resources work and why are there so many of them? So everything that you need to build is built out of components. So let's take, for example, this construction ship that we're building right now. If I click on this, this shows me everything, all of the components that get put into this. So when I build a construction ship, I'm literally building all of these components. I'm building one command center, 8 small cargo bays, 1 construction yard, etc., etc. And every one of those components, like the basic space reactor it has here, requires resources. So in order to build a basic space reactor, I need 5 steel, 7 helium, and 3 lead. Those resources are stored at your star bases and on your planets, but before they can be stored there, they have to get there. So how do resources get there? Well, they get transported there by these ships. So at the start of the game, you have these mining ships, which will go out and independently mine resources and bring them back. And then you also have freighters. The freighters go to your mining stations. Like, for example, here we have a gas mining station, and you can see this freighter is transporting hydrogen and Caslon from this gas mining station back to my starbase. So you don't build the freighters, they get built by your empire automatically, which is good. You don't have to pay for them. They don't cost you any maintenance, and they kind of automatically take care of ferrying your resources. You also can't control them, which is actually perfectly fine because you have plenty of stuff in this game that you can and have to control. Like, for example, making sure that your exploration ships... Now, I probably could automate these, but there's no reason to. Didn't I tell you to go somewhere? I thought I told you to go somewhere. Actually, I think I'm just going to go ahead and send you back to there. No, I take it back. I sent you, there was one of these that had resources that we need to explore. Not that one, was it this one? No. This one? No. Doesn't look like there's any further up there. This one? Yeah, that one. Alright, go there. Okay, that one's still moving. When it gets there, we'll dip in here. Okay. And go explore the asteroids in this asteroid field. And we finished this construction ship yet? If we did, it probably started doing something on its own. Yeah, it started building a gas mining station on there on its own. Well, that's fine. That's fine. So now, if I go back here, now that we built that research station, you can see we are making out of our 361 cap, we're using 270 of it. And we're making like 10 times as much energy research as we are making the other two. So we are just flying through. You can see we've already researched this and this because our research is so focused on energy right now. We're flying through energy, but we're not doing much on the other two, which is fine because the most important thing is to get that those warp fields researched as quickly as possible. Although I'll probably want to build a high-tech research station here pretty soon. Although there's not a super rush on that. We won't be able to colonize anything right away. So we'll go ahead and we'll see. So because I got the new types of shields, it's telling me that I need to retrofit, since that's a new component, it's telling me I need to retrofit my ships and bases to use those new types of shields. If you do this every time, you will literally spend your ships will do nothing but going back to your starbase to retrofit. So you got to kind of decide, which components do they really need and which ones can they do without. Alright, so there's the pirate exploration ship. But it's too late because we got here already. And there's pirate construction ship. I wonder what it's doing here. Alright, so with this frigate here, alright, as soon as it finishes researching advanced nuclear fission, I'm going to retrofit this, and then I'm going to cancel the protection agreement. Oh, I'll wait till we finish armor, too. Yeah, might as well wait till we finish armor plating. Since it's at night. Alright, so let's... so we're going to retrofit this to this new small spaceport. That will give us shields and armor. And then when that's done, between the small spaceport and this, we should be able to defend that spaceport sufficiently to be able to cancel this protection agreement. Because right now we're paying tons of money to pirates who don't deserve it. Make sure we... Okay, so you finished that. Oh, somehow we never explored that. Alright, well, let's go see if there's any resources there. In the meantime, why don't you move back to the home planet? Actually, by the time you get there, we'll probably be able to put a warp drive on you. No, we're not ready yet. Oh, actually we are, technically. Let's slow the speed down. See how we do here. Okay, shields are holding. Now, are these new pirates? This is the Nidra Warriors. Yes, so the Nidra Warriors, we don't have an agreement with them. That's why they showed up. That's why they're attacking us. Okay, shields are still holding barely. When the enemy shields get low enough, they'll run away. Oh, we're actually going to destroy that one. Okay, looks like shields are holding. You're running away, but you can go ahead and shoot. Alright, now you can repair. Okay, you also have no mission. Let's send you back here. And By the time you get there, we can probably put a warp drive on you. And actually, I'm going to send you back as well. Turn around. Because by the time you get back, we still want to repair that destroyer, but we're going to finish researching warp drives. It might actually be just as fast to send you back, retrofit you, and send you over them, and it will be just to send you there. So that was kind of a waste. I shouldn't have sent him over there right at the start. Sometimes you get there early, and sometimes you don't. Okay. Let's make sure our shields are recharging here. This would get repaired. I'll go ahead and let our shields recharge, and then I will cancel the protection agreement. It takes forever for these guys to dock up. Okay. We didn't actually construct a military ship, we just repaired one, but whatever. Alright. Cancel the protection agreement. You can see all of a sudden that makes us a lot more money. And let's turn the speed back up. Alright, we'll see if they show up to attack me. Oh, I thought I heard combat there for a second, but I guess I was mistaken. Okay, we finished our hyperdrive technology. So now that's still really primitive hyperdrive, but we want to go ahead and get these guys retrofitted as soon as possible. Oh, I'll go ahead and have you explore this before you do. Since you're sitting there, we want you retrofitted. Who is this? The Nidra Warriors. Is that yet another pirate faction? No. But he's probably going to blow that up if I don't do something about it. So I'm going to buy him off. I don't want to lose that right now. And then so you're right there, you can repair that. Actually, I guess I can't have you retrofit while you're damaged. And this is the fleet supply ship. All right, well, we have no hope of defeating that, even if we were not on the worse type. So we'll just have to wait for that to leave. All right, construction stalled due to research shortages. Never mind. All right. That ship leave. They usually don't bother sending their resupply ships out too often. Oh, it is no longer damaged, but it does need resources. Okay, stay here. Now, unfortunately, we can't really retrofit this. In fact, this has almost outlived its usefulness. I think we'll wait until we get regular hyperdrive to actually build real military ships. But that shouldn't take us too long. This the first hyperdrive you get is kind of, they say it's hyperdrive, but it's really kind of fake hyperdrive. Didn't I tell you to move to here? I thought I told you to move to there. It's really only good for movement inside a solar system. And you can, if there's a, like, we could probably reach these two star systems with it. But you really kind of need to wait for regular hyperdrive in order. All right, so that's finished. So now it can do pretty much anything we needed to do inside our solar system. So we don't need to repair that anymore. What we do need to do is we should, let's see, what is this? Oh, it's another luxury resource. Let's go ahead and build a mining station here. Now, one thing you should know is that if I had built an energy research, a weapon research station here, as soon as I build something here, a bunch of giant Caltors are going to spawn there and attack me. Because it's just the way it works. So sometimes you'll get lucky, and this your research bonus planet in your starting system will be close to your homeworld. You'll be able to build your research, and it'll be an energy one, and you'll build a research station there, and you'll think it's great. Just be sure you don't send your scientists there, because after you finish researching warp field precursors, a bunch of giant Caltors are going to show up and destroy it. It's not that big of a deal because they're not that hard to rebuild, but if you don't know about it and you send your scientists there, then you can lose your starting scientist, which is kind of a big deal. So this has scenery. It also has Aculon, which we need. So we'll probably go ahead and build. Let's see, we don't have any here, do we? No. Let's go ahead and build a mining station here first. See if we can put it right at the North Pole. Did we finish retrofitting? Yeah, okay. I'm going to go ahead and automate the scouts then. After they're retrofitted. Still not going to bother building any more until we get real hyperdrive, though. Which, again, even though it takes 8 times as long as like this tech, or as the enhanced beam weapons that we're researching, we're still going to get it pretty soon because we're pouring so much of our effort into energy research. Oh, we can contact the Quonaimos. They must be fairly close by. I wonder where they are. Would you be willing to swap territory maps? No? I'm kind of curious as to where you are. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end this first episode here. So thanks for watching, everybody. Since this is the first episode of a new series, if you enjoyed it, please consider liking the videos. It helps promote the series, and it also helps let me know that, hey, this is a popular series. I should make more like this one. So thanks for watching, everybody. I will see you next time, hopefully. And until then, have a terrific day.